This looks absolutely fantastic, and it's Motocross The Game being shown on the Motocross The Game YouTube channel. It's work in progress and it's just a whip video, but it's certainly whipping me up into a frenzy because the graphics, the physics, all looks really great. So in this video, I'm going to get my magnifying glass out as an experienced sim racer, sim gamer, and break down why I think this looks absolutely brilliant. But before I do, subscribe so you can unsubscribe when you disagree with me. Click the like button if you like what I'm doing. And thanks to all our channel members, supporters, Patreon members. Your support allows me to not have a real job. Thank you very much. So first things first, make sure to wishlist this on Steam, link in the description. That really helps indie developers out. Now, this popped up on my YouTube feed and immediately I was just blown away. It looks like they're using Unreal 5 engine, so it looks really nice and sharp graphically. I know some of us hate Unreal 5, but it does look quite nice at times. However, the main thing is not really the graphics engine, just focusing on the graphics initially, the basic presentation, the berms, the dirt details, the surrounding cars driving around in the distance, the environment, the grass. The grass is very important, but there's a lot of subtlety in this environment that really shows the developers going for a really good attention to detail and clearly knows what dirt tracks look like. There's been a hell of a lot of off-road and dirt bike games where they look graphically nice, but you just don't have that resolution to the fidelity of the environment, and it doesn't feel convincing. It feels kind of like an arcade game, if you know what I mean. This just looks really, really cohesive. But who cares about the graphics? Well, I do a little bit, especially the grass, but more importantly, this seems to be doing the motorbike handling really, really well. So a really big problem or difficulty with motorbikes is trying to make them work as a video game due to the abstraction of video games, getting the animations there, getting the physics depth, and then being able to play it on a game controller or maybe even a steering wheel or joystick. It's just really, really hard to get right, whilst also having it so that there's a lot of depth and nuance to the physics. And looking at the footage here, you can see that the character and the bike seems to have really nice, nimble movement. It doesn't seem to be flopping all over the place, but at the same time it looks like it's really nice and controllable with a good deal of depth on how the player can approach doing jumps, landing jumps, and going through corners. Visually, at least, this seems to me to be sort of hitting that kind of Wreckfest 2 simulation, I would say, approach, but approachable simulation, which is what you have to have for these types of motorbike games. It needs to have that depth, but it crucially needs to be controllable. The game needs to treat you as if you are effectively a pro motorcycle rider or a pro dirt bike rider, right? But maybe still kick you in the arse if you do something monumentally stupid. Looking closer at the physics as well, it really looks nice how the bike turns in on the throttle and how the back of the bike's coming out, as well as the dynamics of the bike in the air. It's hard to tell how well they'll have modelled gyroscopic forces and how well the player of the game will be able to manipulate the pitch roll of the bike in the air, but it looks pretty convincing from the video so far. On their Steam store page, it does say that they're aiming for realistic physics, they're looking for long-term vision and like a game that will keep evolving, so maybe it will be like the early access thing and not a fully fledged title at first, unfortunately. But, you know, for an indie project that doesn't seem to be developed by a huge team, that's kind of going to be inevitable, I think. And though it does look a bit dry and more on the simulator side, they do have already a garage section and some customization options that I think your general gamer will appreciate. But it'll be really interesting to see how they implement races and maybe point systems. To me, maybe I'm just getting ahead of myself, but to me, this just makes me think of the original Motocross Madness titles. And I think if they can get the point system in this and keep these beautiful locations, and have, you know, points. You have to get a certain amount of points missions, races, and all that stuff. If they can get that into it, I think it could be a really, really fun game to play. Also worth pointing out from the video as well is the audio actually seems really quite nice and solid, with the motorbike's RPMs being quite convincingly conveyed to you in the note of the bike. Obviously it's work in progress, so I don't think they've really got all the ground sounds and other sounds done, but I think if they can really get good sounds for the dirt deforming and the different surfaces and things being kicked up, that would really, really amplify things even more. Lastly, before we disappear off and you wishlist this game, the onboard camera here is really worth drawing attention to. The first person view, the camera is really well executed. The smoothing of the camera to make it so you can actually see what the bike's doing, but also the way it's tilting and moving around, so you're still picking up some of the bike's dynamics. It doesn't feel totally flat. And that is another thing that a lot of bike developers, motorbike games, especially motocross bike games, really mess up. The first-person camera view, it just ends up being too jarring or too dislocating. This seems very good. So the first signs of this really fill me with a lot of positivity. Like, it's really much like Wreckfest 2, and you know, when you look at some titles as an experienced miserable gamer that's far too old, probably shouldn't be playing video games as much as they do, this looks like it could be a really solid project and the team behind it know what they're doing. So there you go. As I say, wishlist it so you don't miss out. I'm going to be looking forward to seeing where this goes. I'm not sponsored or anything by these people. This just popped up and I'm desperate, absolutely desperate for good racing games, because it's been terrible for the last 6 or so years, apart from Wreckfest 2. So, fish, teapot, fish. Till the next one, happy tea drinking. Let me know what you think in the comments. Take care and goodbye.